Hi, my name is Guy Fredrickson. Today is Monday, March 29th, 2021. And this is an update on the restoration of my 1961 Chris Craft 17-foot ski boat. I bought this boat in November 2019 out of Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, and I've been working on it ever since. So I'm well over a year into this project. Most recently, I reinstalled these side rails. So these are about 1 3/4 inch wide, a 1/2 inch thick. So what I did on these, all the old wood screw holes, first I lightly sanded all the wood. Then I drilled out all these old wood screw holes with a 1/16 inch drill to provide a little air passage. And then I filled everything with Smith's Fillet Epoxy sealer. So when I pushed that sealer in there, it was able to push all the air out and then come out the other side a little bit so that I know that these little void spaces are completely filled with the filler. And then after that, I saturated them with Smith's Clear Penetrating Epoxy sealer and then reinstalled them. And they were all pretty good shape. There's one on the other side that was cracked in 2 places. I'll show you that in a moment. But this is how it looked originally. So when I took everything apart on this boat, and I was right down to, almost everything. Some of the side frames remained, but I had the engine stringers off, the keel off, all the bottom frames, the transom frame, it was all taken apart. Well, I had the luxury of seeing how this boat failed over the 60-year life of the boat. So when I put things back together, I tried to address all those issues, and that's why I strengthened things by adding more wood to the side frames, the bottom frames, installing plywood panels between the chine rails, plywood panels on the transom, just all attempting to make it stronger than it was originally. When I took these side planks off, I noticed that almost all of these wood screws had completely failed. Most of them had just pulled out or were just very loose. You could just lift them right out of the rails. Some of them were broken. So I didn't want to put it back together the same way. So what I decided to do was put extra wood behind these rails so that I can use longer wood screws when I reattach the planks. So this side is how it looked originally. Starboard side. And here on the port side, I've recently finished installing all that extra wood support. So we'll start here in the back. So this is 3/4 by 2 inch mahogany. And I cut some slots into it so to make it more flexible so that it could accommodate the curvature of these rails. There's not much curvature at the back of the boat, just some. And this set has 2 rails, so I just used wider mahogany lumber behind this set. So there's the first set, second set, third set. Here's the 4th set. So up here, closer to the bow, these 2 rails, the mahogany board still worked just fine. But this one, the curvature was a little bit too much for that. So instead of the mahogany board, I cut out 2 strips from 1/4 inch marine plywood, mahogany plywood. Much more flexible and able to accommodate this curvature. So here's the 5th set, 6th, 7th, and 8th right up front. And again, he used the plywood strips on the bow section. Seem to work really well. These boards are original but I beefed up the connection. Originally there was just a wood screw through here connecting these two boards. This is the same dimensions as the rail. So what I did now is I fit them with these silicon bronze quarter 20 carriage bolts, and I put a block of wood on the back side to accommodate the washers and the nut. So a much stronger connection, I think. So it's looking pretty good. So I'll do the same thing on the other side next. I'm a little worried some of these rails appear straighter than they should be. And so I don't know how the side planks are going to lay on these rails. But if there's any gaps, I can fill it with mahogany shims to make it structural. So I'm not too worried about that. It's just a detail. The only broken rail was this one here, and it had a crack here along the frame, and it had a crack here along the frame. So it was easy enough to repair. All the other frames were, the rails rather, were in good condition. So when I'm done putting the extra wood supports on the starboard side, the next thing I'm going to do is dry fit all the planks on the sides, the transom, and the bottom. So I already had the bottom planks laid out on the plywood, and I traced their outlines, so I have a good idea where they will lie. And then I finished installing all the battens and the backer blocks where there's 3 bottom planks on each side that have these butt joints with backer blocks on the other side. So all that's done. So I think it's looking pretty good. Happy so far. Lots of work ahead. Those are the planks over there for the starboard side, and these are the planks for the port side. So most of those planks I've already done some work on them, light sanding, some sealing and whatnot, but I still have more of that preparation work to do. But coming along good. Hey, thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.